guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Caitlin, but I go by Catalin, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you all the books I've read in the month of April. So let's just hop into it. Okay, so the first book in April I read was Crush by Tracy Wolff. It's the second book to Crave, and I just decided that I'm going to tell you about both, so you're caught up, and if you want to read it, I recommend. Crave is basically where a human girl goes to a boarding school with supernaturals after her parents are killed. She has no clue that they are out to get her there until an incident happens and she meets a guy named Jackson and he's trying to protect her. And in the end of the book, she ends up saving Jackson in a way. Let's backtrack. So she meets this guy named Jackson and finds out Jackson had to kill his brother for some reason. And his brother is named Hudson. He had an ex-girlfriend and she was trying to bring him back and use her as a sacrifice. So yeah, very interesting. And in the next book, which is Crush, Hudson ends up trying to attack Jackson somehow from the dead and gets put in Grace's mind. She finds out she's not human after all. I'm not going to explain what she is, but she's in a coma. I want to say coma for like almost a month, I think. I'm not really sure. I remember the days. Anyways, so now Jackson and Grace have to find a way to get Hudson out of her head. Hudson ends up talking to Grace, and he's trying to help them find a way out of her head. That's all I'm going to explain, but I just want to say Hudson is my favorite so far. He's got blue eyes, blonde hair, and is British, my type. So, yeah. At the very end, something very, very weird goes down. So I'm excited to read the next book. Also, a main character dies, and then Jackson in this frustrates me deeply. So there's that too. Definitely recommend you to pick up and read the series. So yeah. The next book I read was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and this was a super cute book. I gave it 4 stars. It's a nerd/geek romance with the baseball player. I love baseball. I love softball, baseball, so that was pretty cool. And it was super sweet. The way she thought her process, like in high school, was me in high school, so that was a little cringe. It is cringy, but cute at the same time. I definitely recommend this book, and it doesn't have any smut. So if you're looking for books with no smut, I definitely recommend. The next book I read was The Art of War, and I gave it 4 stars. It was very interesting, and it was very out of my zone. It was basically about this guy writing on how war happened, like how the Chinese dealt with war and stuff like that. I listened to it, so some of it just went in one ear out the other, but what I did listen to was like the thought process of like how to win a war, basically. So that was very interesting. I don't know if I would read more stuff like that though. The only reason I picked it up, and this is kind of cringy and embarrassing, but the only reason I picked it up was because when I was younger, I used to watch all the Bring It On movies, the cheerleading movies, and in Bring It On with the Jets and the Sharks, I can't remember if it's All or Nothing or I can't remember, but basically the captain of the Jets team on Bring It On was reading that book, so I picked it up, and that's the reason why I picked it up. It gave great advice, actually. So, would I recommend? If you're into that stuff, yes. If you're not, then no. Yeah. The next book I read was The Hoodie Girl by Yuen Wright, and it is a Wattpad book. I definitely recommend this if you're looking for romance with no smut in it. I recommend. I gave it 4 stars, and it's basically polar opposites attract. He's on the hockey team, and she's just a nobody. She's got good grades, stuff like that. She babysits his younger sister, and it's just the cutest thing. The end was beautiful. Chef kiss. I really don't like endings that much, but the end of this was so cute. I can't. But basically, something traumatic happens to him. Something already happened to her. They end up crossing paths in a way, and they just fall in love. And yeah, they deal with their traumas together. So I definitely recommend this book. It kind of reminds me of like Twisted Love, but without the brother being there. Like, he's just a guy, and the way they deal with their traumas together, it kind of reminded me of Twisted Love, except without smut. So I definitely recommend if you love Twisted Love by Anna Hong. The next book, I finally got to it, is The Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Finally got to it, y'all. Finally got to all my books that I wanted to read this month. And let me just say, I gave it 5 stars because it's Harry Potter and I love Harry Potter. But it was nothing like the movie. I was kind of upset about it, to be honest with you. Because why would they leave all this information out of the movie? Like, it would be important information. And people say, I don't get it. People say that the Prisoner of Azkaban movie is their favorite, but I'm like, it's missing so much. I hope the next book is similar to the book, at least. But I learned a lot more information, and there was a lot more Draco Malfoy scenes in the book, and I just, yeah, what she said. And I am going to read the next book here pretty soon. I wish it was like the movie. I really do. In the end, though, it's all good in the hood. At least I know more. Like, a lot of stuff makes sense now. So, there's that. And, yeah. Okay, the last book I read in the month of April is Sanctuary by Paula Mendoza and Abby Shear, or Share, however you want to say their names. Not good with names. But, oh my gosh, this book, I gave it 4 stars. I wanted to give it 4.5 stars, but there is no 4.5 stars. This book is really sad, y'all. So, y'all were warned by me. And I read this in a day and a half. It kept me on my toes. So, basically, they're in the year of 2032, and everybody has chips. That's how they pay for their food, drinks, stuff like that. Their home necessities, and they have all their medical information on that chip. And basically, her and her mom have a fake chip. Her brother was born in the United States, so he's good. But her and her mom have a fake chip, and the president announces that California is going off to be their own country because California did not agree with how they treat illegal immigrants. And so the president states that, and then he says, also, we will be upgrading the chips and find out whoever has a fake chip, and we're going to round them up. And basically the deportation police is like hardcore, like, you don't want to mess with them. So her mom, her, and her brother make a plan to take off to New York to get to California. Because they have a friend there in New York that's going to help them get to California. Well, her mom gets split from her and her brother. So her and her brother have to make the trip by themselves. And it is heart-wrenching and it's cruel, and it just, I have never ugly cried over a book in my life until this book, like ugly cried. Like I was crying for hours. There is a sad part in it and I just couldn't get over it. I cried so hard it made my stomach hurt. But in the end, I definitely recommend this book. She also meets a guy on the way, and the way that she meets a group of people, but she ends up with this guy, and the way that they all took care of each other is just, like, it just made my heart super happy, and I just, don't want to spoil it, so that's all I'm going to say about it. I think everybody should read this book. So, yeah. So that was all the books I've read in the month of April. Like, subscribe, comment, you know what to do, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!